Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into a topic that, wow, it really blends artistry, history, and just incredible craftsmanship. We're talking about the world of magnificent hand-knotted carpets, and specifically we're focusing on the captivating story of Turkmen rugs. Our mission really is to unravel the centuries of tradition woven into every single thread. And we're going to explore this through a pretty unique lens, a specialized family business that's dedicated to these treasures. So you get not just the facts, but, a real feel for what makes these pieces so special. Get ready for some truly surprising insights. Might change how you look at the rug under your feet.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how an object, something that serves such basic everyday needs for nomadic people, a rug, can embody such profound cultural heritage and artistic innovation, even national identity, all at the same time. We'll trace them right from those nomadic necessities all the way to becoming national symbols. And we'll look at the tiny details, the intricate stuff that makes them such coveted works of art globally. If you think about the bigger picture, it's this amazing journey. It shows how deep traditions are, well, not just preserved, but adapted, refined even, across generations, across continents. It really shows how deeply interwoven these pieces are with, human history and identity itself.
Right. And our gateway into this incredibly rich woven world starts right here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, with a business called Babak's Oriental Carpets. They opened back in August 1994, bringing this very specific artistry and deep expertise to the West Coast. And what's really striking about this place, why it's such a perfect starting point for us, is the family connection. It's huge. The current owner, Babak Rizwani, he runs this showroom on 4th Street. He's actually the son of Dr. Hushang Rizwani. So this isn't just, a store. It's a legacy, a multi-generational thing.
That family part, yeah, you're spot on. It's absolutely key. It explains the sheer depth of expertise they have there. Dr. Hushang Rizwani, Babak's father, he spent, over 35 years building this really honorable reputation in the carpet business, mostly out of Graz in Austria, before bringing all that knowledge, that experience over here to Victoria and Vancouver Island. So when Babak took over the showroom, it wasn't like starting fresh. He was inheriting decades of specialized knowledge, a trained eye, a whole network, really. He's literally been around carpets his whole life, grew up surrounded by them. Imagine, watching your dad every day, spotting a tiny dye difference no one else sees, or knowing a tribal knot just by feel, that kind of deep literacy. It's not just from books, it's absorbed, decades of it. So yeah, Babak has this vast knowledge of carpets from all over, but he really specializes in Persian ones. It's more than just selling, it's passing on wisdom, making sure the real value is understood.
So for you, listening, whether you're like a seasoned collector already, or maybe just curious, thinking about your first really significant piece for your home, dealing with a place like this means you're tapping into something huge, a real connection to the craft's heart. So you really understand the piece, its history, its investment value. It's knowing not just what you're buying, but why it's special.
Exactly. And that commitment to the client and the piece itself, it goes way beyond the sale. Babak's Oriental Carpets, they pride themselves on offering, and this is their phrase, the most magnificent Persian and Oriental carpets the world has to offer. They really focus on unique hand-knotted pieces. This isn't mass production. Every single one is elegantly hand-knotted, either by nomadic tribes or in master workshops. So it's authentic, traditional craft, centuries-old methods. But what really lifts their game is the services they offer. It's incredibly comprehensive. It's not just selling a rug. It's about nurturing a relationship with this timeless art.
Right, so it's less a shop, more like a full-service institution dedicated to these amazing textiles.
Precisely. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Their services cover the whole life cycle of a rug, from considering it to looking after it long-term. They do worldwide shipping, which is pretty essential for these unique, often heavy, high-value items. But beyond that, specialized repair and cleaning. Think about it trying to find someone you trust to meticulously fix a centuries-old rug. Keep its character. That expertise is just invaluable. They do appraisals too, which is critical for understanding the real value, the provenance, especially since these pieces can appreciate, gain historical monetary value. For collectors, there's even a trade-in and purchasing counter. Gives flexibility. They provide these detailed info sheets on every carpet, a tangible record of its story. Domestically, free shipping over $500. Free local delivery too, though, probably best to check specifics. And this next one, it's pretty special. Obligation-free trials. You can actually try a carpet in your own home. Live with it. See how it fits your space, your light, before you commit. That says a lot, doesn't it? Speaks to their confidence and how important it is for a rug to feel right in your space. Like choosing art that resonates.
That peace of mind. Knowing you can actually see it in your home. Feel how it works with your stuff, your light, or get it expertly fixed by
Right.
people who get its construction, its history. You really can't put a price on that. It makes a big purchase feel like a confident investment.
It absolutely does. And that commitment, it brings up a good question for you, the listener, beyond just, getting a beautiful rug. How do services like these ensure its longevity, its value over time? Think about having an appraisal from someone who truly gets the layers of value, not just materials, but history, culture, or knowing if, God forbid, an accident happens, there are skilled people who can restore it. Keep its story going. It's about building trust. Knowing the business cares about preserving these treasures. So your investment isn't just in an object, but in its future beauty, its heritage in your home for maybe generations.
Okay, so with that foundation of real expertise, let's shift gear. Let's get to the heart of our deep dive today. Turkmen rugs. You might see them spelled different ways. Turkoman, Turkoman, Turkmen. But these pieces are just this profound testament to the rich culture and, honestly, incredible skill of the nomadic Turkmen tribes from Central Asia. Nowadays, you find them mostly from modern-day Iran and Afghanistan. But their roots, wow, they go way, way deeper, as we'll find out. They're highly valued everywhere, not just because they look striking, but for their amazing quality. And durability, too, which often came right out of necessity.
And when we say deep roots, yeah, we're not exaggerating. The history of Turkmen rugs, like identifiable examples, goes back to at least the 5th century AD, some early ones from the Sogdian period, but the tradition itself, much older. Antiquity, really. Think about the famous Pazyryk rug, found in the Altai Mountains, dated all the way back to the 4th century BC, 400 BC. Now, it's not definitively Turkmen in the modern sense, but the motifs, the knotting, it's so similar to later Turkmen designs, it strongly suggests this shared ancient weaving tradition across Central Asia, like a common thread over 2,000 years old. Even Marco Polo, back in the 13th century, he specifically mentioned the fine and beautiful carpets woven by the Turkmen people. This incredible lineage makes you wonder, doesn't it? How can a craft last for millennia? Evolving, yes, but keeping its core identity, its connection to a way of life. These aren't just decorations, they're living history. Cultural evolution in every knot.
It's just staggering to think of a tradition lasting that long. Absolutely incredible. And you mentioned way of life, which brings us to their original purpose, crucial purpose. They weren't first made for export or, museums. They were made by the nomadic tribes, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, northern Afghanistan, out of sheer necessity. Their uses were incredibly practical, life-sustaining even. Floor coverings, obviously. Tent decorations, sure. But also sturdy saddlebags for transport.
Exactly. The whole art of Turkoman knotting, it grew directly, organically, from the practical needs of being nomadic, where survival depends on being efficient, ingenious. When your home is always moving, your whole life dictated by seasons finding pasture, mobility is just critical for everything you own. So personal stuff had to be lightweight, easy to transport, and crucially, made from materials readily available. And what's more available and renewable than wool from their own sheep? It was paramount. Piled carpets gave essential protection from the cold ground, made in those nights. But they were multifunctional too. Really clever. Use them as covers, blankets for warmth, or fold them into strong bundles to carry precious belongings. It makes you think. How often is such exquisite art born directly from the immediate needs of survival? Daily life. Picture that nomadic family. The rug isn't a luxury, it's fundamental. Warmth, comfort, even a container for their world as they moved across those huge landscapes.
That context just completely changes how you see them. Not just beautiful, but ingenious. Born from this deep understanding of their environment, their needs. And speaking of ingenious, let's talk materials. And the incredible art of traditional dyeing. Traditionally, mostly hand-spun wool, right? The best ones might have a blend of local wool, maybe some imported with different qualities. And while wool's the main thing, some incorporate silk or cotton, especially in the warp and weft, for texture variations.
Yes, precisely. And this is where the palette of the earth comes in. It's an ancient, complex science, really. The wool is meticulously dyed using natural pigments, extracted from this huge range of plants, minerals, giving that rich, vibrant palette, mostly deep reds, blues, warm earth tones. It's generations of knowledge, almost like forgotten chemistry. Nomadic women experimenting, finding out what gives what color. Imagine the trial and error. Boiling madder root for those iconic reds. Carefully getting indigo from leaves for blues, maybe the most common blue. Even using everyday stuff like onion skins for yellows, saffron for golds. The list is huge, shows intimate knowledge of their surroundings. St. John's wort, sumac, chamomile, rhubarb, turmeric, sage, poppy, buckthorn, quince, almond, walnut, chestnut, henna. Just a few. Thousands, maybe. If you connect it to the bigger picture, this dyeing, it's an ancient, intricate art form in itself, passed down thousands of years, humanity's early grasp of natural chemistry, perfected way before modern science.
It really sounds like a whole science embedded in there. Deep ecological knowledge.
It absolutely is. And a crucial step, almost magical, showing how sophisticated they were, is mordanting. This is where they apply a fixative, a bonding agent, to the wool. It's not just about getting a nice color, it's making it last. For centuries, literally. The mordant could be mineral salts like alum, maybe plant ashes usually applied before dyeing, sometimes during or after. Think of it like priming a canvas. Or a catalyst. Without it, imagine dyeing with berries. Looks great, maybe, but washes out, fades fast. Mordants make those vibrant, earthy tones fast, stops them bleeding, degrading over centuries. This ancient practice, roots in China, India, apparently came to Europe via Persia, Turkey, solidifying colors, ensuring that incredible longevity. Remarkable. The hands-on knowledge, letting their art literally transcend time. And just quickly on structure, when we say hand-knotted, the pile, the fuzzy bit, is made by tying individual knots onto the foundation. That grid of vertical threads, the warp, runs the length, held by horizontal threads, the weft woven through. That's the backing.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Deciphering the visual language. Turkoman rugs. Instantly recognizable, right? Highly detailed, often mesmerizing geometric patterns, often mixing stylized flowers and tribal motifs. But the absolute most distinctive feature, the thing that shines Turkmen, is the gull.
The gull, yes, that's the signature. The heart of their design language is this repeated medallion-like design central to the look, and crucially, it varies distinctly. Shape, size, depends on the specific tribe that made the rug. So these patterns, not just decoration, they're a profound visual language, often reflecting the tribe's identity, lineage, history, maybe where they came from, almost like a tribal crest woven right in. For someone who knows, a specific gull can instantly tell you the rug's lineage, maybe even roughly its age, its use. They carry layers of meaning, ancient symbols, protection, fertility, prosperity, maybe tribal stories. And the borders are intricate too, usually multiple bands, each with its own geometric or floral pattern, complementing the main gull design. It's a visual symphony, really, a complex piece where every bit tells part of the story.
A visual symphony, I like that. And you mentioned the gull can resemble familiar shapes, like the Bokhara pattern found in some Turkmen rugs, especially from Kashmir.
Yeah.
Often has gulls called the lucky elephant's foot, because they look like, well, an elephant's footprint.
Exactly. It's charming, shows how they observe their world, turns sights into symbols. And it's worth noting, those elephant foot gulls, octagonal ones, they often look best smaller. The intricate pattern really shines, doesn't get overwhelming with fewer repetitions. As for backgrounds, yeah, you see navy, black, various beiges, sometimes called Caucasian carpets broadly. But the most popular, the really exclusive color for Turkomans, especially older ones, rich, deep burgundy. It's a hallmark. Instantly signals Turkoman origin.
So see that deep burgundy, likely Turkmen, got it, which leads us perfectly into the subcategories. Because each one reflects a unique tribal style, cultural nuances. These variations create this rich tapestry of designs. Understanding them unlocks more of the story.
Indeed. It's like learning different dialects within a language, each with its own rhythm, vocabulary. Let's dive into the main ones. This is where tribal identity really shines, where collectors hone their eye. First, Teki rugs, widely seen as among the finest, kind of the benchmark. Made by the Teki tribe, once the most powerful, known for incredibly high knot density, very tight, precise weave, symmetrical patterns, really well-defined goals, crisp, almost architectural precision, shows real discipline, often have those signature deep reds we talked about, highlighted with blues, whites, other earthy colors, true technical mastery.
So top tier, highly disciplined aesthetic think tech.
Absolutely. Next, sailor rugs, another highly regarded group, from the sailor tribe, also known for intricate designs, exceptional quality, but a distinct character. Sailor often feature a unique, more elongated gull, often combined with stylized floral motifs, gives them a slightly more fluid, almost calligraphic feel. Delicate floral touches in the geometry. Color palette is typically rich, varied, strong emphasis on deep reds, blues, greens, slightly different visual appeal.
And then we have the Yomut rugs.
Yes, Yomut, produced by the Yomut tribe, traditionally in modern Turkmenistan and northern Iran. Characterized by strong, clear, geometric patterns, often diamond-shaped gulls, intricate, almost architectural borders. Compared to Tek or sailor's bold colors, Yomut tend to be more subdued. Favoring earthy tones, accents of red, blue, green, gives them a unique, understated elegance. Patterns feel grounded, strong, clear shapes, maybe reflecting those vast open landscapes.
The color variation is really interesting. It speaks to local resources or just tribal taste, doesn't it?
It really does. Deep connection to their environment. Then Irsari rugs. From the Irsari tribe, once one of the largest, most powerful, known for bold, striking geometric designs, often larger gulls, rich, vibrant palettes. These are the showstoppers. Big, impactful gulls dominating the field. A bolder aesthetic. Dyes typically striking, almost luminous. Strong emphasis on deep reds, blues, oranges. They really stand out.
And finally, the Syriac rugs.
Syriac, yeah. Crafted by the Syriac tribe, traditionally around the Amu Darya River, known for distinct gull patterns, often combining geometric and stylized floral motifs. Color palette is typically warm, earthy, shades of red, brown, ochre, more mellow, natural feel than Irsari. Syriac often feel like a warm embrace. Rich, burnished quality to their reds, browns. Gulls feel intricate yet inviting. Each subcategory, each tribe, adds unique charm, artistry, reflects diverse culture, artistic expression. These rugs aren't just captivating art, they're this profound testament to the skill, dedication of their creators.
So what does this all mean for you, listening? As you see these pieces, understand these differences, the specific gulls, subtle color changes, not density. Lets you appreciate not just beauty, but the specific story, the lineage, the artistry of the exact tribe who made it. It turns a pretty rug into living history. A direct connection to specific people, their unique heritage. Like knowing the difference between a symphony by Mozart versus Beethoven. Each has its own voice, story. Now let's shift focus a bit. Talk about how the weaving itself, the materials, have changed over centuries. Profoundly. Centuries ago, almost all Turkmen rugs, made only by nomadic tribes, using almost entirely local stuff, wool from their herds, dyes from plants, minerals right off the land. This really organic approach often led to some fascinating irregularities, subtle variations. Collectors actually love them, see them as part of the charm, authenticity, because natural materials vary. Wool threads stretch, contract, especially on portable looms, constantly folded up, set up again in a new camp.
And that's a key difference, really affects the rug's character. More recently, say, last century or so, we see large rug workshops appearing in cities. This shift to centralized production means fewer irregularities, more controlled environment. Technology changed a bit too, and a critical change. Around 1910, synthetic dyes started being used, alongside natural ones. That was a huge departure from ancient methods, started a complex debate for collectors. Also, using cotton for warp and weft threads is much more common now. Historically, mostly wool, maybe silk for fine pieces. While bigger rugs were always made in villages on fixed looms, they're just more common now. Because of these fixed urban workshops, more demand. It raises an important question, doesn't it, for enthusiasts, collectors. How do these shifts synthetics workshops impact authenticity, perception? Does it lessen historical value for purists, or just natural evolution in a changing world? It's nuanced.
Definitely adds crucial layers when you're looking at a piece, trying to figure out its real origin, value. Beyond production changes, these rugs also, well, their influence spread globally in amazing ways. The ancient Silk Road, that incredible trade network, east and west, played a massive role in spreading Turkmen rugs, brought them international recognition centuries ago. You could even spot them in European Renaissance paintings, in grand rooms. Shows their beauty crossed continents long before modern travel.
True, they were highly coveted, prized possessions. However, the Russian expansion into Central Asia, 19th century, that significantly impacted weaving traditions, brought new influences, changed demand, shifted trade routes, and crucially, it's important for you, the listener, to understand the category of Turkmen rugs, made in large numbers for export today, particularly from Pakistan, Iran. These are mostly made with synthetic dyes, cotton warps and wefts, often wool pile. And frankly, while often beautiful, they have little in common with the original tribal Turkmen rugs. It's a distinct lineage. Commercial workshops, modern looms often, they might visually mimic the gulls, but the knot density wool-type dyes, the overall feel, can be quite different from older tribal ones. Think of it like comparing a hand-painted masterpiece to a high-quality print. Both can be beautiful, but fundamentally different. Creation, value, history connection.
So effectively using the traditional designs,
Yeah.
but not the traditional methods, materials, or the original tribal context.
Precisely. In these export rugs, you'll still see various patterns, colors, but the most typical is often called the Bukhara design. Actually derived from the teke main carpet, often red or tan background. Another common pattern comes from the Irsari main carpet. Features that octagonal elephant's foot design we mentioned. Also worth noting, many Afghan rugs with Turkmen designs are made by ethnic Turkmens living in Afghanistan. Afghanistan produces a lot of rugs, mostly for export. Many are Bukhara designs, but some use other traditional Turkmen designs too, albeit, more commercial production. What's fascinating is how designs travel, get reinterpreted, sometimes distanced from original context, materials, but still carry that visual legacy forward, like a cultural echo across time, geography.
That's a crucial distinction. For anyone collecting or just understanding provenance, so for you listening, understanding the difference between tribal originals, woven from necessity, tradition, and these later export-focused productions. It's key to appreciating true value, heritage. It's not just the pattern, it's the whole story behind how it was made.
Absolutely. And in Turkmenistan itself, the reverence for carpets isn't just profound, it's deeply ingrained in national identity. By the end of the 20th century, carpet weaving was one of the most important sectors of the economy, not just a craft, an economic powerhouse, source of immense national pride, cornerstone of cultural self-expression.
And here's where it gets really interesting, showing that pride. They even have a national holiday for it.
They do. It's truly remarkable. In 1992, Turkmen Carpet Day officially became a public national holiday, celebrated every year last Sunday in May. Just think about that. A country dedicating a national holiday to a textile art form speaks volumes about its cultural weight, the honor it holds, and the sheer scale of their dedication. It's astonishing. Among modern Turkmen carpets stands the world's largest handmade carpet. Monumental piece, total area, 301 square meters, woven in 2001, and in 2003 officially entered the Guinness Book of Records. Imagine the human effort, the coordination, thousands of hours, skilled hands knotting that huge thing. It's a monument, not just to skill, but national ambition, communal dedication, woven into fiber.
That's just mind-bogglingly huge. What kind of challenge? Logistical challenges? Creating that, how do they manage? Must need an army of weavers.
Oh, certainly. A project like that needs thousands of weavers working together, immense custom-built looms, sophisticated design coordination, keeping the pattern right, massive supply chain for wool, dyes. It's an organizational feat as much as artistic. And it's not just holidays and records. The carpet's significance is literally woven into their national identity, visibly. Its symbolic importance extends right to their national heraldry. The vertical strip on the flag of Turkmenistan shows the 5 main patterns of Turkmen carpets, each with secondary figures along the edges. These patterns together reflect national unity, a visual representation. Similarly, the 5 traditional carpet motifs in the red disc of the emblem of Turkmenistan represent the 5 major tribes or houses: Take, Yumut, Arseri, Chowder, Serik, symbolizing the country's traditional religious values, historical power, lineage, cultural strength. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it powerfully shows how an art form can be lifted right to the core of a nation's identity. Pride, embodying history, people, values in one powerful, beautiful symbol. And for anyone wanting to see these original tribal rugs firsthand, experience their raw beauty, history. The Turkmen Carpet Museum in Ashgabat carefully preserves magnificent examples, showcasing the peak of Turkmen weaving.
Okay, so for you, the listener, we've journeyed through this deep history, incredible artistry. But let's circle back, some practical thoughts, especially with insights from someone like Babak Rizwani, who really gets the history, the techniques, investment value, overall quality. What should we know about durability, care, once they're in our homes?
That's a very important practical point, because bringing one home is an investment. Now, these Oriental Turkoman rugs, undeniably beautiful, rich in history, aesthetics, it's worth knowing they're unfortunately not generally seen as the hardest wearing rugs, compared to some others. Often made with finer, softer wools, or more intricate knotting. Beautiful, yes, but less resilient to constant heavy foot traffic. Generally recommended more for decorative use, not high traffic spots, which raises that important question for you. How do you balance beauty, history, with practical longevity in your home? For a collector enthusiast, it's a conscious choice. Put this precious artifact in a busy hallway, get worn quickly, or treat it more like a painting for the floor, form your living room, study, maybe even a stunning wall hanging to preserve its beauty, investment value for generations. Understanding this helps you make informed choices about placement. Keep your cherished piece beautiful longer.
That's incredibly valuable advice. Knowing where best to place it ensures it stays cherished for generations. Thoughtful stewardship.
Exactly. And for those really keen to explore the origins firsthand, the region offers a wealth of cultural, historical sites tied to weaving traditions. For an immersive trip, recommended spots include ancient Merv in Turkmenistan, a major Silk Road city, the historic centers of Bukhara, Khiva in Uzbekistan, amazing preserved architecture, markets where similar crafts thrive, and the UNESCO site, the Minaret of Jam in Afghanistan, of course essential to thoroughly research travel requirements, safety, conditions vary hugely.
Right, always travel smart, informed. But even if you can't trek halfway across the world, Businesses like Babak's Oriental Carpets offer not just products, but that wealth of knowledge, services, appraisals, info sheets. They're invaluable personal expertise. They empower enthusiasts like you to confidently bring a piece of Central Asian history, a real, hand-knotted work of art, right into your home. It's a direct, tangible connection to that rich heritage, right where you live. Hashtag outro. So what does this all mean after a deep dive? We've journeyed from nomadic tents and their practical needs all the way to national flags. Simple needs profound national pride. We've explored how the intricate patterns, vibrant colors, exceptional craft of Turkmen rugs aren't just beautiful objects. They're deep, living reflections of history, culture, enduring human ingenuity. It's a truly remarkable story woven into every thread. Invites us to look closer.
And this deep dive, it raises an important question, I think, for all of us. How many other everyday objects around us, maybe pottery in your kitchen, a carding on a shelf, a family quilt, even a coin design, hold such profound, multi-layered stories, just waiting to be uncovered? Perhaps next time you see something seemingly ordinary, you'll pause, look a little closer, ponder the hands that made it, the traditions it represents, the centuries of history woven into it. There's always more to learn. And seeing these hidden connections, it truly enriches our understanding of the world. Shows that history isn't just in books, museums. It's vibrant, alive, often in the most unexpected, beautiful forms, right there in front of us.